And hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You're back with the Midwest Express. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a rant. Not a whole bunch of informational stuff that you can take to help you get better at gig work, but it's more or less me just talking about what I see going on with gig work and whether it's advantageous or not. So right now there's a lot of drivers that are quitting Uber, quitting Lyft, quitting food delivery, all the gig apps. And the reason why they're leaving is oversaturation. There's lots of people that are in gig work. And it mainly boils down to the economy's going to shit. And it's not going that way for everyone. Now, if you're invested in the stock market, there's all these hopes and aspirations that, this company's showing profits, that companies showing profits, and these companies are showing profits because over the last year and a half, they've been cutting people, they've been going to robotics, they've been making sure that they were going to be showing profit. They seen the future, they knew things were going to be getting uglier and uglier as things go on, so they have been right-sizing themselves, and by doing that, they're allowing more people to work remote if possible, they're cutting benefits and features, they're flexing down hours, they're going to robotics, they're doing all these things to make their companies more profitable. However, that doesn't necessarily mean our economy is doing great. And if you look at anything and everything, if you do not own your own home or you are thinking about buying your own first home, there is probably nothing on the market for you. And that's if you're a young professional making $80,000 plus. I'm not talking about, the people that are just doing gig work and making ends meet. I'm talking about people that have educations, good paying jobs. With the current interest rates, they cannot afford a house because houses are so overinflated in prices because of inflation. Everything's more expensive. Cars are more expensive. Your insurance is more expensive. Food is more expensive. Gas is more expensive. Everything's more expensive. And you can't sit here and whine about all those things being more expensive. You have to do something. So what are people doing? They're going to gig work. They're looking at how do I make ends meet and not take another full-time job. And gig work is typically the answer for people in their mind. Maybe they did gig work in the past and they're coming back, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that are quitting, but it seems like for every person that I know that has quit gig work, 2 new people have started doing gig work because people are getting more and more desperate to make ends meet. Now, if you're in the right spot, in the right place in your life, you might be making hay right now. If you are well invested in the stock market, you probably made a killing this last 12 months. However, this last 12 months, there's been the highest withdrawals and pullouts from people's IRS, 401ks, thrift savings plans, things along those lines for the future because they are having to tap in to their retirement to make things work today. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting for the whole country is we are working to pay for today, but we're just running up the debt on tomorrow. I remember 3 years ago we were saying, oh, the national debt is it's going to be like 20 trillion. Now it's 32 trillion. 32 trillion now. It's nuts. And as interest rates go up, the interest we owe on that debt goes up as well. Heard a story this morning. They're saying credit card debt is at a pre-pandemic all-time high again. People, when the pandemic hit, everybody's like, "Ooh, I better save for the future." Well, they're not saving for the future anymore. They've been running debt up again, and maybe it's because they need it just to pay their bills. And there's a storm brewing with people, and a lot of states have legalized marijuana, and I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't smoke weed, But I do drive Uber, and I do pick up a lot of kids that are 16, 17 years of age, and they're smoked out of their brains. And people going to jobs as nurses' aides, smoked out of their minds first thing in the morning. People that I wouldn't want taking care of my mother or grandmother in a nursing facility. And people just look the other way. And it's not even legal in my state. So I could only imagine how bad it's got to be in the states that it is legal. But I feel like they've legalized a lot of this under this umbrella that they're going to make tax dollars. But the reality is, I talked to one gentleman the other day in Illinois, and he was like, well, I don't buy my drugs from a dispensary. It's too expensive. I just buy it from my drug dealer. So the state's not making no revenue on that guy because it's so expensive. Talked with another girl about marijuana. She said she quit. I was like, really? Why'd you give it up? She's like, it wasn't the health thing. It was more the money thing. She's like, if I kept smoking weed, I was going to be poor my whole freaking life because I was always thinking about getting high again. And I kind of feel like that's where our government and society wants people to be now, is they just want the youth to be stoned out and smoked out and just go to work and not care and just live. Nobody's going to pay attention to the fleecing of your taxpayer dollars and all the sweet deals that get signed off to the military industrial complex and all these programs that kind of go in to better our society, but then people cut corners, our roads suck, construction doesn't get done right, and we're just going to have to pay for it all again in 5-10 years. But just my rant for the day. I'm done ranting. I haven't been around much. I've been driving a whole lot more than I ever wanted to. The summer's almost over. I'm looking at taking a nice break after the college kids get back. I'll be more in a normal routine again. The summertime has kind of caused me, because of the festivals and a lot of things that have been going on, to work a lot more hours. And surges are done. You know, we're not making as much as Uber drivers. We're not making as much as delivery drivers. So if you're in this gig stuff, you know, if you're still here and you were one of my first subscribers 2 years ago, well, good on you, because you're still, I'm happy to see that you're still hanging in there. But we all know how tough it is. So hopefully you guys get something out of this. Make sure you leave your comments below. I always like to read your comments. Have a great day, great week, and we'll hit you on the next one.